Hello and welcome everyone. Bill Fenimore, Director of Project Sales and Training, and I want to thank everyone for joining us today. Today we're going to talk about the QuadroMAX and how to select the right outdoor products. On today's agenda, we're going to talk about strategies for selecting the right outdoor products, and what I want to do is give you some real-life examples. I think when we do that, it's easier for you to connect and actually to be able to use stories, that same story or your own story that's kind of similar in your own environment. We'll also talk about why the QuadroMAX is unique, and we're going to end today with some of the new products from MaxLite. To me, when we talk about strategies, the most important thing is that you have to listen to your client or customer. If you just go in there and you're just trying to sell your product and you don't listen to what their needs are, it's very difficult to make that sale. So when we talk about this, we want to initially say, ask a probing question. Now, if you have the opportunity to maybe ask that probing question before you get into the meeting, it helps you a lot because it helps you prepare. I'll give you an example. We had a meeting with a large utility in the southeast. They were doing a large program, and what happened was I had a distributor who was the contact with this gentleman inside the company. And so I probed him about, tell me about him. What is he like? What type of questions does he answer? Is he more a technical person or is he more an abstract person? So I got a good feel about the person before I went into the meeting. So when we had the meeting, I was able to ask him questions and talk to him in a way that he was comfortable responding back to. And that led to a very successful meeting. So it's very important when you're first starting out is try to ask some probing questions. Again, if you could do it ahead of time, great. If not, when your meeting first starts, so that you make sure you're on the right track. Next, we want to keep the client engaged. And by that, what I do a lot of times, I have some slides, and I may put up a slide that has UL and ETL, because MaxLite offers products. I have both of those certifications. I usually ask my customer, do you know the difference between the two? Again, it keeps them engaged. It allows them to be part of the presentation. And from that, I can gauge how knowledgeable they are about LEDs. And I may ask some additional probing questions about LEDs, so I make sure that they understand the difference between LEDs and HID or incandescent light sources. And so it helps me better tailor my presentation to their needs. And that takes us to our next one is direct the presentation to the needs of the customer. I had a situation probably about almost 20 years ago when I met with a developer that was doing a baseball complex, and he had one of these big outdoor shopping malls that was connected to it. And I walked into the meeting, and he said, I've already had 6 people here. They're all lighting people, and I know exactly what I need. I need 1,723 shoe boxes. So I said, just give me your price and tell me, what it's going to cost me to do that, and it'll be a quick meeting. And so I said to him, well, what are you looking to do here? In essence, what is his needs? What does he ultimately want to do? Are you looking to light the parking lot as efficiently? If I can show you a product that uses less fixtures and is decorative and gives you a better lighting pattern, and your people will feel safer because there's not those hot spots, would that be something you'd be interested in? And of course it was. And so by directing my presentation to his needs or asking the probing question and finding out what his ultimate needs are, we were able to win that project. Next, I would say prepare for the unanticipated. So don't go in with a presentation if you don't have all your probing questions done, because you may find that that's not the direction they want to go with. And again, I met with a large utility in the southern part of our country, and I said to myself, I've got this roadway fixture. It's going to save them 70% on energy. I didn't have the opportunity to probe the people before the meeting, and I said, I'm going to go in there and we're going to knock their socks off. So I sit down with the vice president of the company and the director of their outdoor lighting program. I say, tell me a little bit about your program. And what I find out is in that particular utility, because they want to keep generation going 24 hours a day, they don't charge for their energy at night for their lights. So the fact that I was going to save them 70% on energy, if I'd gone with just that presentation, they would have shut down. There was no reason for them to listen to that because that wasn't going to meet their needs. So what I did was I then said, well, wait a second, you've got 1 million fixtures. Someone goes, yeah. I said, well, you spend about $35 million in maintenance. He goes, yes. How do you know that? Well, now I've created credibility in myself because I say, well, you know what? I worked for a utility. I ran an outdoor lighting program. I had 500,000 fixtures, and I know how much I spent on maintenance a year. So I said, what instead of when you go up to fix your light, to change the bowels, to change a lamp, to change a photocell, and the lamps and the photocells only last about 5 years, I'd say you just do a complete head change. So in the course of 5 years, you could change out all your 1 million fixtures, into LED. You could be doing it using part of your maintenance financing because you're already out there doing the work and only have to have a small amount of your capital budget used to purchase the product. It was a win-win. And when we showed them a product that was about $300 for a roadway light, the ROI was about 2.5 years. So that was a win, and that's what you want to create. If you can create a win-win for your customer or client and for you, then that sale is going to happen. And lastly, what we want to try to always do, and what I try to do, is make our clients an educated consumer. And we've talked about this a little bit earlier on here. Don't go in and just try to sell your product and don't care about anything else. If you make your customer an educated consumer, you can guide them along the process. And at the end, because now they're more knowledgeable and your solution is the best solution, it's very easy for them to say yes to you. And that's always the last thing you want to do is ask for the sale at the end when you finish. Let them either tell you yes or no, field the objections that they may have, and then be able to move forward, bring out your paperwork, and sign the agreement. As we go now into some additional strategies, there may be times when it's a simple one-for-one. You don't have the ability to kind of benchmark your product. Customer says, I need 3 wall packs. I've got 175 wall packs up there now. What do you have? And it's just a simple one-on-one for price. That's going to happen. There's going to be times when you can't use some of the strategies we just talked about where it comes down to price. So then, as I say, the only thing you can do is try to talk a little bit about your company or MaxLite, our business model, where we're in the top quartile as far as quality, and we are in the bottom third as far as price. Now, it's the top of the bottom third, but you're getting a good quality product at a fair price. So that's the only thing you can try to do there when it's a simple one-for-one. If it's going to come down to price, then that's all it is. If you can't get about quality, LEDs are a form of electronics, so there's a different quality level throughout the spectrum. An important thing, and we want to stress this, and that's why I have this slide up here about the StaxMax and the 1,000-watt metal halide. You're talking about 1,000 watts and with a ballast close to 1,200 input watts versus 400 watts of LED. And early on, people couldn't understand how that could work. And what's important here is the optics are critical from the manufacturer. When we talk about an HID source, everybody's HID lamp put out the initial lumens were all very similar. So they're putting out lumens 360 degrees. They went into a vessel that had reflectors, and everybody's product worked about the same. So then it came down for your end customer. It came down to price. It came down to quality. And it came down to maybe reputation of the company and your relationship with that end user. As we moved into LEDs now, everybody's driver is different. Everybody's LED arrays are different. And everybody's driving the product at different milliamps or ampages. So everybody's product is unique. So it's very important now that we talk about optics. When LEDs are measured in a sphere, the delivered lumens are measured very close to the product, maybe an inch or two away. So it doesn't actually give you a full understanding of how that product is going to deliver the light level to the work surface area, to the roadway, to the ground, wherever it's being the applications are. So MaxLite has worked very hard on their optics, and this picture displays that. The wider lines that you see there are your 1,000-watt metal halide. You can see there's a lot of light trespass going out the sides, but you can see how far it throws the light. MaxLite makes the StaxMax available in a lot of different varieties. You can use all narrow beams, you can use all medium beams, you can use all wide beams, or you can customize with different beams. So we tried to show the different beam angles, and you can see that all of them are delivering the light at 30-foot mounting heights further than the metal halide. So it's showing you that, yes, we can meet and exceed the light levels being delivered in HID by using sometimes close to 70% less electricity because the LEDs are directional and because they are much more efficient. That kind of brings us to our next slide where we talk about photometrics. MaxLite offers a lighting applications engineer service to you. So we can provide photometrics for you. We find that 80% of the projects we do photometrics for, we sell because your customers can now see the light levels. And what I've done here is I've taken a typical parking lot, and we see that they would have quad fixtures. In this case, they had quad 250-watt metal halides. And we're using our Maroc fixture. And our Maroc fixture is a very efficient product, and it's one of the tops in its field. And we know that because we've been tested on a lot of projects, and this is a roadway and area light product. So when it's been tested in roadways against all the other manufacturers where they're taking light meter measurements on the ground across the spectrum, we find that we deliver some of the best lumens and the best foot candles on the ground for that. So we take this product and we say, okay, if we put 490-watt Maroc fixtures on each pole for a total of 24 in this particular parking lot, we see that we're going to average about 2.9 foot candles across the whole area. We do see, though, as we've blown up one right underneath of the lamps, that we do have a hot spot here of about 14.6 directly under the 4 fixtures. And we can see our minimum, and then when we see our ratios are kind of high. Our average to min and our max to min are really not as good as I'd like to see them be. And what happens, though, in this picture, what we're seeing is you get some hot spots. That's one of the things that normally LEDs don't have, but because you've got 4 product mounted here, you're able to see that there is a hot spot directly underneath of it. So when we go to the next slide, and this is where you've got to think a little bit outside the box, what we've done is we've used the QuadroMAX, and instead of using 4 fixtures, what we've done is we said, let's increase the wattage to 160 watts, and let's use 2 fixtures now. So what we see is we're averaging the same foot candle level across the area as we were with the 490 watts. We see that our maximum, though, is a little bit lower, which we don't need a high maximum, because like we say, that's a hot spot. Our minimum is higher than it was with the other product, and our ratios fall in line. We would like to have our average to minimum ratio be 10 or below, and we see that we've achieved that here. We're at 5.8. And our max to min, we'd like to have that be under 20 or 15, and we see we've achieved that with 15. So what we're doing here, we're providing a unique solution to your end-use customer. Because if everyone else is coming in and matching 1 for 1 and saying, I can give you 24 lamps, what we're saying here is we can give you 12 fixtures. We can do it at the same light levels without the hot spots, which means your customers or clients that are going to come to that parking lot are going to feel safe because it looks much more uniform. I know I do this, and I'm sure everyone does this. When you go to a mall at night, you park underneath of the lights because it's very bright right there, and you feel safer. But then you got to walk across dark spots to get to the building many times, and you don't feel safe. So that's the one advantage with LEDs. It can be much more uniform. So what we've done here is we're giving our end user something to think about. You've provided a unique solution. You haven't provided a solution that everybody else has. In the end, that's what's going to stick out in his mind. As we go to the next slide, what we see is the return on investment. And this is the major way that you're going to sell LED projects. So we take on the left, we have our ROI if we had a 250-watt metal halide versus the Maroc that we just showed you the photometrics for. And again, this is saying that this is a new application. So the customer's going to go with either a new fixture, whether it be metal halide or LED. So this is going to bring the return on investment down because they don't have an existing product and you're changing it out. But we just want to compare apples to apples here. And as we see as we go to the bottom, it takes about 1.6 years for us to make the return on investment if we do it with the 4 Marocs for the 4 metal halides per pole. When we look to the right, we say, what happens if we do the 250-watt metal halide and replace it with the 160 that we just showed the photometrics for, and now we only have to use 12 of those fixtures instead of 24 for this particular parking lot, and we see that our return on investment has been cut in half. It's now 0.78, so just a little bit over 6 months or so of a year, we're going to have our return on investment, and we're going to be able to, from that point forward now, we're putting money in the pocket of our customer as opposed to them continuing to pay. So that's a nice advantage. Again, this is how you want to sell LED projects. It's the return on investment and how quickly the customer is breaking even and then being able to get the savings. Now we're going to change gears a little bit, and we want to talk about the QuadroMAX. This is a new product from MaxLite. We debuted it a couple months ago, and we're really going to be making a push this year because we really believe this is the product for you. And when we look on this page right here, we see that it has 8 different brackets that can come with it. It has 5 different wattages. It fits across 4 different categories, and it's one product. So when we look at it, we're looking at about a trunnion mount. We're looking at a 6 slip fitter. We're looking at a straight slip fitter. We have a rigid surface. We have an adjustable surface. We have a pole mount. We have a wall mount, and we have a canopy. So those are all the brackets that are for this product. But as we go to this next slide, what we see is what's going to differentiate it. So besides the fact that we've got the 5 wattages, so you can do a complete project now. From the area light to the wall pack to a canopy, through everything through your whole project can be done. You have the same look, but you're going to get a 10-year limited warranty from MaxLite on this product. So that is a leader in the industry right now. So you have a 10-year warranty. You have 110 lumens per watt. So again, that's right now, we're pushing the envelope there. That's the edge of what people are being able to offer as far as efficiency for the LEDs. And finally, we just showed you the photometrics a few slides before this. So you see the optics. You see how good the optics are in this product. To give you an example, and I didn't do a photometric of it, but if we were to use the same number of fixtures for that particular setting that we showed before, where we had 4 90-watt LEDs on a pole to replace 4 250s, in order to get the same light level or a little bit more, we could have done it with the 60-watt version if we wanted to use 4 fixtures. So we could have used even lower wattage and provided the same amount of illumination on the parking lot for that customer. So this is a great product to utilize, and it's something, as we say, that we think this is going to really take off. It's something for you to show your customers. Just some other additional information that we have on it. Coming in February, we're going to have a hanging banner that will be available. We're going to have counter mats. So when you go into your distributors and they have a counter, we have a counter mat. Why that's important is because a lot of times the counter people aren't really sure about your product, but this is an easy fix for them. They're able to look down onto the conversion chart there, see the HID source, and see which product MaxLite says works best at the QuadroMAX level, and they can sell it right away. So it just makes that point of contact a little bit easier, because that's where your initial customer may be coming in, and that's the first customer, the first point of contact they have for someone that actually is selling MaxLite. And also we have the QuadroMAX Mobile. So these are some POPs, great stuff coming in February for you. What's also important is we also have a dedicated website, QuadroMAX.com, just for this product. You can go on there. Your customers can go on there after you make your presentation. We've got a great video that we've produced, so you can see everything there. The data sheets are available, photometrics, and the ordering for everything is right there on one page. One thing, though, that I do want to talk about is when we first rolled this product out, I think we had about 3,000 SKUs for it. We are in the process right now of adjusting that or fixing that, and you're going to have about 500 SKUs. You're going to have the same product, and we're just easing the ordering ability for you by lowering the number of SKUs. Stay tuned. That's going to come out probably in about a week or two. We're going to have the information about how we're changing the SKUs and what we're going to be able to offer to you. Now let's talk about some of MaxLite new products that are available. For many of the products, we have the next generation. They keep a similar look, so we're not going to really touch on the wall packs and some of the basic floods that we have. I want to touch on things that have a unique appearance or that have changed somewhat or that are new to MaxLite. And one is our small flood. And our small flood is available in 15-watt, 20-watt, 40-watt, and 50-watt. So the 15-watt can replace a 100-watt quartz, and our 50-watt can replace up to a 250-watt metal halide. So this is, this is a newer product for us. We can see that our efficacy is somewhere in the high 90s to the 110 range. As we say, this is a new product, a new design for us, and we're really excited about where it's going to be. This has been a very good seller for MaxLite up to this point. It has up to 210,000 hours of L70, and that's based on TM21. Can also get this with a polycarbonate lens. It comes in a wide and narrow beam angle, and it is compatible with mechanical relay type photocell. So all that is there for you. All models also come standard with a yoke and a half-inch NPT strain relief for easy installation. So that kind of, in case it gets windy out there, it doesn't pull the wire out from the terminal block inside. As we go to the next product will be our architectural floodlights. Again, this is a new product for MaxLite. It has a new look. These are available in 50 watt, in 80 watt, in 110 watt, and 150 watt. So these can replace from a 175 watt metal halide up to a 400 watt metal halide. The efficiency here, we're looking at a high of about 115 lumens per watt down to about 93, 94 lumens per watt. These are universal voltage, so 120 through 277. They pretty much have a standard beam angle of 6 by 6. And again, this is more of an architectural look. The small floods and this flood are not low voltage. So these are universal voltage, something to please be aware of. We're talking about a CRI that's greater than 70. These are available in 4,000 Kelvin. Our small flow lights are in 5,000 Kelvin. So these are 4,000 Kelvin for those customers that are looking to do that. 100,000 hours L70, and these come with a 10 Ka surge protection as well. And all of MaxLite standard products come with a 5-year warranty. This is an IP65 rated product, stainless steel hardware, and again has a 1 1/2 inch adjustable knuckle slip fitter. As we go to the next series of products, we're looking at our security lights. And MaxLite has come out with a couple different security lights. On the LED low profile security light first, what's unique about this product is because the profile is not as deep, you're able to mount this at a lower height. Our initial security light had to be mounted at 10 feet or above. This one is able to be mounted at a lower level. It's 15 watts. It's universal voltage. We're delivering a little bit over 1,000 lumens with this. Our CRI is 86, and this will replace a 42-watt CFL. Now, as we go to our architectural security light, this one is again 15 watts, and we're seeing, though, this one, I want to reiterate, is only 120. This is not a universal voltage, so this can only be 120, but you're going to be able to deliver almost 1,500 lumens. We're doing 1,450 lumens, so about 97 lumens per watt. Here, this can replace a 100-watt quartz or a 30-watt CFL. So again, this product here is going to give you a little bit brighter lumens, but it's not universal. You've got to be careful when looking at that. I want to remind you, as usual, that we do have the MaxLite Lighting and Technology University. Blake has worked extremely hard. We've updated this now, so we do have LED sections in there. So it takes you across all the lighting spectrum and all the lighting spheres that are available. So we have it available for you now. It's new on our website. If you go to the MaxLite homepage, you go to Resources and click all the way down, you'll see MaxLite Lighting and Technology University. Great tool for you. And again, that's what we're trying to do here at MaxLite. We're trying to make it the easiest company for you to do business with. So we offer this as a service to you. So if you have new employees coming in, even if you have employees that have been around for a while, they can come on here and they can learn some information that might help them with their sales or with what they're doing as far as LED goes in today's technology. Again, we talked a little bit about the resources and how we want to make it as customer-friendly for you. I know we touch on this all the time, but I truly believe this resource and the next resource are two strongest resources that you can utilize. I am available for lunch and learns, breakfast and learns. We do online webinars for you. We can focus on specific products or give you a broad overview. So it is available for you. You simply shoot me an email. Please always copy whoever your person that you're working with at MaxLite is so they're in the loop as well, and we can go ahead and offer that service for you. And as we talk about Joe Pater and his group, rebates are available now. You may not be a pro at doing them. You may not be as knowledgeable as you'd like. We offer that service for you. So Joe Pater and his group out in Wisconsin can guide you along the whole process. They can even do the rebate.